Hey folks, Mr. Parsons here. Just giving you some quick feedback on the Pick 2 assignment from Monday. Uh, I'm going to highlight some student work from Monday's Pick 2 activity and just talk about why there were some really exceptional examples. Don't worry if your work wasn't the one that was chosen. There were so many to choose from, and I'm sure at a later point in the quarter, I'll spotlight some of your work as well. To begin with, on option one, there were three different options to choose from: the Ozymandias text, the Next to God, of course, America I text, and the speech from Haemon to Creon from Antigone by Sophocles. I want to start by looking at the work of Erica from my third hour. Erica writes about the Ozymandias quote: "This suggests that Ozymandias wanted to be viewed as a king. He wanted people to respect him, but didn't respect his people." This was a powerful reading of the text. Ozymandias is so obsessed with power, but he's not concerned with using that power for good of others. So, Erica, I really appreciated your response there and appreciated your reading of the text. I want to go to my third hour now. Sorry, my fourth hour. We're going to look at the work of Ariana here. Ariana was writing about Next to, of course, God, America I. She writes, "The author is saying that government only cares about winning and doesn't really care about the people who lost their lives." Remember, this poem really talks about how patriotism, sometimes we can sacrifice a lot for patriotism without getting much in return. So, Ariana, I really enjoyed your reading of the poem and the clarity in your response. Finally, I want to look at the work of Genesis, also from my fourth hour. She was talking about the Sophocles play Antigone, and she wrote, "The leader in this poem is saying that a person who only thinks that they have all the power and other people don't is not right. It's also saying that only one person can be making choices, and it can only be one person making choices, and that it has to be community so it can be stronger." So I thought that was also an accurate reading of the text. And Genesis, you did a nice job explaining why there. So well done, you three, and congrats to the other folks that chose this topic. I thought it was really well done. Moving on to option number two, there were some really great examples. One that I wanted to spotlight was Hector. Hector was writing about commitment and whether it was dangerous or helpful to a leader. He wrote, "Commitment is a helpful trait because it can lead to hopefulness and inspiration, which is good to have as a leader. A leader that is hopeful can make others feel hope too." And that's definitely something that I could see made sense. And he used Next to, of course, God, America I to back this up, talking about, of course, God, America, I love you, land of the pilgrims. And it shows how committed some leaders are when they speak about their country. And I thought that was a very clear response. Another option or another response that I wanted to focus was Sarid from fourth hour. She was talking about patriotism. She said, "I think this quality is dangerous because it shows and says how they will do anything to make their country happy or being loyal to it." And she spoke about Next to, of course, God, America I as well. And she had a different reading of it than Hector did in fifth hour when he was talking about commitment. So it just goes to show that there are multiple ways to interpret these texts. And so if you're interested in how that looks, check out the work of Hector and Sarid on option two. They did a great job. Finally, I want to finish by looking at some of the leadership slides. One that really jumped out to me was the work of Jessica. Not only did Jessica from my fourth hour have a quote from each text, but she also included the keyword, she had her images, and a really nice explanation of what leadership is. She says, "A leader is someone who is determined to not only reach their goals, but to help others reach theirs too." And this really aligns with how I view leadership. That's not why I liked your work, Jessica. I just thought it made sense and you really had some clarity in your thinking. Also over here, you have this picture of what looks to be Ozymandias, somebody who's entirely focused on themselves. And she writes, "Someone who isn't a leader tends to act like a dictator." Important to think about as we consider leadership in the run up to the election. Great job, you all, and thanks for your hard work.